So how did we get here from CNNs, RNNs to transformers? We already talked about convolutional neural networks, that is CNNs, and recurrent neural networks, that is RNNs. And CNNs and RNNs were foundational for image and sequence processing for many years. But recently, transformer networks have become dominant in both domains, so in image or sequence processing as well. That is because there are certain limitations that RNNs and CNNs have, and transformers can actually solve those limitations. So what are the limitations of RNNs? RNNs process input tokens sequentially, making them unsuitable for parallel training. They maintain a hidden state that encodes the context of previous tokens, requiring each token to be processed one after the other. So you cannot do parallel training in case of RNNs. RNNs also struggle to capture long-range dependencies in text, hindering their ability to learn from long sequences. Long-range dependencies means longer context window. Now, sequential processing makes RNNs computationally expensive, especially for long sequences. Okay, so what are the limitations of CNNs? So CNNs can process data in parallel, but they are not inherently designed to handle sequential data in the same way as RNNs or transformers. CNNs may struggle with capturing long-range dependencies. CNNs are more commonly applied in image processing rather than natural language tasks. Then comes transformers. So transformers introduced the attention mechanism, actually not introduced. Attention mechanism used to be used in the encoder-decoder architectures, but what transformers did is transformers architecture said, okay, we don't need anything else, we only need attention. But we'll talk about that later, but that is the point. Now, introduced in 2017, transformers rely exclusively on attention mechanism, eliminating the need for recurrence. This allows the model to focus on different parts of the sequence when processing each token. Along with that, the attention mechanism enables transformers to process all tokens in the input sequence simultaneously, allowing for highly parallelized training. Transformers also effectively capture long-range dependencies in text. So the architecture becomes highly scalable, making it efficient for building large language models through large-scale pre-training. Transformers are also very flexible. So transformers can process any tokenized data and adapt to various domains. So what are the key architectural differences in transformers? So the first idea is self-attention. The core of a transformer is the self-attention mechanism, where each token computes a weighted sum of all other tokens based on relevance. So this allows the model to learn relationships between all input tokens. The vanilla transformer model follows an encoder-decoder architecture that we have already discussed. The encoder encodes the input sequence into latent representations, while the decoder performs cross-attention on these representations to generate output. Some models use only an encoder or a decoder. Anyways, if you are a little confused about this cross-attention, self-attention, don't worry about them. We'll talk in detail about these mechanisms. Okay, now coming back to our discussion. Now, since transformers do not process data sequentially like RNNs, they use positional embeddings to understand token order. And transformers often use layer normalization before each sublayer. Now, as mentioned before, there are different types of transformers there. So there are encoder-only models such as BERT, Roberta, or Albert. They are used for text understanding and representation. There are decoder-only models such as GPT, that is GPT series, used for text generation, and encoder-decoder models such as T5 and BART, and they are used for tasks involving both text understanding and text generation. Okay, so what are the advantages of transformers? Well, improved performance. Transformers achieve state-of-the-art results across various NLP tasks. Transformers are better at generalization, so shows enhanced language understanding and generation capabilities, including emergent properties not seen in smaller scale models. Emergent properties in machine learning refer to unexpected capabilities or behaviors that arise in large scale models, such as reasoning or in-context learning, which were not explicitly programmed or observed in smaller models. Transformers are also quite efficient. So parallel processing significantly improves training efficiency. Parallel processing in language models refer to techniques that enable multiple computations to occur simultaneously, significantly speeding up training and inference. So this is crucial for handling the large data sets and complex architectures of modern language models. Now, there are various alternatives of transformers as well. So there are state space models such as architectures like Mamba use SSMs combining elements of RNNs and CNNs. There is RWKV, so model that blends RNNs and transformers. Then linear attention transformers, then XLSTMs, etc. The point is that the transition from RNNs and CNNs to transformers have been driven by the ability of transformers to handle sequential data more effectively, capture long-range dependencies, and leverage parallel processing for efficient training. So there are alternatives I've mentioned here, but transformers currently dominate the field of large language models.